In this video, we want to look at an example of finding the area of some polygon on the coordinate plane. And remember, area, that's just how much space, how much flat space this polygon actually occupies. So this shape right here is a triangle. And because it's a triangle, we'll need the formula for the area of a triangle. Actually, let me write that out as the area of a triangle. And we know that's just half whatever the base of the triangle is multiplied by whatever the height is. So remember that base and height, these have to be perpendicular. They have to be at a right angle to each other. So if we figured out this length right here, this is our base, and we figure out the length that's perpendicular to it, to the top of the triangle, the height, then we can just multiply those together and divide by 2. So in this problem, we just need to figure out 2 of these lengths. So this length right here, we can call this the base of the triangle. And this length right here, like I said, we can call that the height of the triangle. Actually, let me put that on the inside. And to find these lengths, we can either use the distance formula, or we can just decompose these lengths into right triangles. And that's a more visual method. So that's the approach I'm going to take. So let's break our base down into a right triangle with a vertical and perpendicular line. So this is at a right angle. And we can just count how long each of the sides are. So this you can see is length 2, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's length 6. And from here, we just want to use the Pythagorean theorem. Since remember, for a right triangle, the Pythagorean theorem is just that a squared plus b squared is c squared, where a and b are the legs and c is our hypotenuse. So to find our base, we square the hypotenuse and set that equal to each of the legs squared and added together. So b squared is 4 plus 36, and that's just 40. And we're going to take a square root of each side. So b is the square root of 40. And for now, we could leave that, or we can simplify it. Since this is really just the square root of 4 times 10, and since we have a product, we can separate this into 2 square roots, and the square root of 4 is just 2. So the square root of 40 is also equal to twice the square root of 10. And from here, let's find the height. So we're going to decompose this length into a right triangle, again using vertical and horizontal lines. And it looks like this is length 1, and this is 1, 2, 3. So we have a right triangle, we can use the Pythagorean theorem, and we would get 1 squared plus 3 squared is equal to the height squared. So that's 1, this is 9, so we get 1 plus 9, which is 10, equal to 8 squared. And we will square root everything. So 10, or the square root of 10, is equal to the height. And from here, we know our base and we know our height, so let's plug these in. So our area of this triangle is half the base, which we found as 2 root 10, multiplied by the height, which is root 10. And we can simplify this. So half of 2, that's just 1. So we get the square root of 10 times by the square root of 10. And since we have a product of square roots, we can change this into a square root of their product. And 10 times 10, that's 100. And the square root of 100 is just 10. So this would be our final answer. And of course, our answer would be square units. Whatever our units are, we would have those units squared.